Hey guys, and welcome back. My name is Shayna Marie, and I'm back with another video. I wanted to share something with you guys that I think is very important in this hour. So, a few months back, I realized that there was this gentleman that would walk past my house between the hours of like 1 and 3 o'clock. Between those hours, he would always be walking by. Didn't think nothing much of it, but visibly you can tell that he had a mental disorder. I live in South Florida, and he had on like a bubble jacket, those winter coats, and he had on basketball shorts with Timbs on and these long socks. I'm gonna try to put like a description here on the screen somewhere. So I realized he was doing this for a while, and I realized he would do it around the times that my son and my grandmother would be outside. So my son would be riding his bike back and forth, but we can still see him from either side. And I'll be inside either cleaning up, but I can see them on the camera. Anyway, I realized that it was happening too often, and I remember him just not speaking either. Even, like when we'll say hello, he wouldn't speak, or, he wouldn't respond. So that kind of like made my discernment go up even more, like, okay, what's going on? So I remember a particular day, I left my grandmother and my son outside, and my son was riding his bike as usual. And I went to the supermarket and I came back. And I came back really quickly. I just went to go get a couple of groceries. I probably was in the store for like 30 minutes. I come back and I see the gentleman walking across the street, but this time it's like he seems visibly angry. He has on the same outfit, and he's like profusely sweating as well every time he will walk past. And he was like mumbling under his breath, and I'm just going about my time, and I'm putting the groceries inside the house, and I can tell that he was just like really upset. And at the same time, my son started coming inside, and it really upstirred my spirit. Like, my discernment was just like way up there, and I put my groceries on the counter and I prayed to God at that moment, and I said, Lord, if this man has any bad intentions, I said, Lord, don't let him even walk on my street again, that he will no longer be able to come back around this way. And as I said that prayer, you guys, the next day I didn't see him. I have not seen him, and I want to say it's been over 5 months now. I haven't seen this man. Don't know where he came from. Now, the area in which I live in, that's very common for me to see. However, it's not common for me to see on my street. Okay, why am I saying this? Discernment is very important in this hour. Though we have discernment, just because we can discern, okay, yeah, something's wrong, we need to pray and we need to ask God to remove certain things and people from around us that serve us no purpose, that are trying to only hurt us. I'm not saying that this gentleman was trying to hurt me or my family. However, for God to really answer that prayer so quickly, I don't know what he would have planned to do, because it was like clockwork. It was the way he came around the same times that my son and my grandmother would be outside. Was like, it was like a raised red flag for me. It didn't feel comfortable with me. So with that being said, even though you know that you have the gift of discernment, still always pray and ask God to strengthen your spirit of discernment. You don't want to think that because you can discern in past seasons, or you can discern certain things that you're used to, that you'll be able to discern something new. Of course, judge righteously, You're not judging because someone looks away, but it's more so the spirit. It's what upstirred my spirit that caused me to pray and ask God to remove this gentleman from the neighborhood and the street overall, that he won't even cross paths. Is that right? Cross paths with me or my family ever again. And for God to answer it so quickly, I'm just grateful that, I prayed. I'm so grateful for discernment. And I just want to pass this on to you guys, that in this hour, it's like the enemy is so upset, and it's so many things, so many witches, warlocks, wizards, demons that are being exposed, that are being uprooted and just doing things. It's like they're no longer hiding and they're showing face, So now is the time to really ask God to strengthen your spirit of discernment, because just because you can discern what's familiar doesn't mean you'll be able to discern what's new. So always ask God to strengthen your spirit of discernment. It doesn't matter, even if you're at home, even if you're at the job, even if you're going to the supermarket, always ask God to help you discern what's around you so that you know how to move. Put on the full armor of God, okay? Look at the news. I'm not saying this to scare anybody, but just be mindful. Even at the news with this young lady who was on the bus, that broke my heart. That she just sat down ready to go home, and somebody behind her just decided to take her life. It's unfortunate, very, very unfortunate. So once again, I'm not saying this to scare anyone. I'm just putting this out there for you guys to really, really ask God to help you discern what is around you at all times, and to put on the full armor of God. And of course, please Psalm 91 over your life and over your children's and your spouse's lives, your family lives as well. So that is all. I hope that this helps someone, and please pass this video on, and I will see you guys back when God sends me back on. Bye.